Hello everyone, and welcome to Introduction to Sociology. What is this class? Perhaps you already thought about how, when, and where the science of sociology appeared. The word itself consists of two parts, Latin socius, meaning companion, and Greek logos, which means study, literally the study of companionship. This term was coined by the French philosopher Auguste Comte in the early 19th century. He is considered the godfather of sociology. Having witnessed radical social and political upheavals in society caused by the French Revolution, he came to a conclusion that we needed a special science in order to understand such changes in society. He called sociology the Queen of Sciences. So he's credited with the idea of sociology. However, it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution several decades later that this science was developed. Karl Marx, Emil Durkheim, and Max Weber are the founders of sociology. Because of the Industrial Revolution, our traditional way of life, which existed for thousands of years, has been replaced with completely new and incredibly complex social relationships. Unlike psychologists who study our inner world, in sociology we try to understand how social relationships influence people's behavior. Why are you in this class? What made you decide to go to college? Your genes? Your hormones? Your neurons? Your personality type? Your unconscious desires, maybe? Or perhaps it's the social relationships, the current realities of modern society that require everyone to have higher education. This is called sociological imagination, your ability to see the connection between individual actions and the larger society. Applying your sociological imagination is the most important goal of this course. Before we begin, let me share with you a few interesting facts about sociology that I think will help with your expectations this semester. Where are sociologists employed? What can one do with a degree in sociology? Obviously, one area of employment is education, as in my case. Sociologists are also employed by various government agencies that work with people and data. A lot of social workers come from sociological backgrounds. Also, many politicians have a degree in sociology. In fact, I think it should be required of all politicians. If someone is to make policies that affect our society, they'd better have some basic knowledge of how our society operates. Businesses also hire sociologists, in particular to work in public relations. Finally, sociologists are famous for conducting different surveys, political polls, and marketing research. But above all, each individual can personally benefit from the knowledge of sociology. It can help you successfully compete in the workforce, experience professional growth, make prudent financial decisions, raise children, choose the right neighborhood to live in, understand current trends in society, and make long-term forecasts for the future. Sociology versus psychology. Having been a member of both the American Sociological Association and the American Psychological Association, let me ask you, which organization do you think is larger? The American Sociological Association is over 15,000 strong, but the American Psychological Association dwarfs it with over 150,000 members. That's 10 times more. Another interesting fact to consider is that the population of North America is very small compared to the rest of the world. It only represents 7% of it. However, 62% of the world's psychologists are concentrated here. Why do we have the highest number of psychologists per capita in the world? Why is psychology so wildly popular in America? Although I have a few hypotheses in mind, I'll let you contend with this question on your own. Now, what do my students think about sociology? Here is a comment taken from my student evaluations. I now know that society really sucks. I can't see how someone could be a sociologist and not have to be put on antidepressants. Well, don't worry, this is not a typical comment. As a rule, students have fun in this class. However, I do want you to remember that in this class we take a candid look at how our society really is, with all its problems that we normally prefer to ignore because we don't want to get upset. As they say, ignorance is bliss, but knowledge is power. So even though some chapters will be not as enjoyable as others, nonetheless, the knowledge you gain empowers you. And finally, let me introduce myself. Judging by my accent, you may have guessed that I'm not from around here. So where do you think I'm originally from? Let me show you some pictures where I used to live. What does it look like? What is this hot and desolate place? Oh, here's the Grand Canyon. So I used to live in Arizona, right on the border with Mexico, in a military town. This was a very interesting and diverse experience. I took my sociology students on field trips to Mexico. I played soccer with Mexicans and US soldiers. I had a lot of military spouses from Germany, Japan, South Korea, England, and other countries in my classes. And just exploring the Wild West was quite thrilling. And in this picture, you see what is considered a snow day in southern Arizona. Just a little bit of powder on the ground, which melted by noon, caused all the schools, government agencies, and businesses to shut down. I guess people were just excited to see snow, which only happens once in a decade. I also founded and advised the Student Social Concerns Club. So these are pictures of us during different events and fundraisers. El Sabor del Mundo Hispano, Monster Fest, and a Christmas party we organized for single-parent students. So all in all, I spent 4 years in Arizona. Before that, I lived in Arkansas, where my wife is from, for half a year. And before that, I was born and raised in Ukraine. I met my future wife on the internet, so that's why I moved to the United States in 2004. My formal teaching career started in 2003, while I was still a postgraduate student. Part of my dissertation research was done in Scotland, which is an absolutely beautiful country. My PhD is in sociology, but my educational background also includes psychology and social work. My name is Vladimir Kozubovsky, which is actually a very cool name, as Vladimir literally means the Lord of the World. It's also a fairly common Slavic, Germanic, and Scandinavian name, and you can hear different variations of this name. My last name consists of 2 parts, the root word kozu, which means aspen basket, and the ending ovsky, which is typical for Eastern European surnames. For example, Tchaikovsky, Chaika means seagull, or Malinovsky, Malina means raspberry. Just in case you are wondering, typically if Ovsky is spelled O-V-S-K-Y, it indicates that the person is from Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Bulgaria, or another country where the Cyrillic alphabet is used. If it's spelled O-W-S-K-I, it indicates that the person is from Poland, or another Slavic country where the Latin alphabet is used. Even though I have such a great Slavic name, Americans are not used to it, as English names are predominant here. So these are some really bad examples of what people have called me. Voldemort, Vladimir, lavender, and even Walmart. So, just call me Dr. K for now.